I don't know. Am I being bombarded? I did tell you last week that I'm the most toasted, desired woman in Lagos in so many other languages. That's why Dipo had to be here to make sure that I'm not kidnapped.
Yes.
So on today's Danfo Conversations, we're going to go jiggy jaga jiggy boo bass bo 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 bo. As in literally. Now, let me take your mind back to an educator, a social activist. He was also a journalist. He created a school called Mayflower. His name, some of you may have guessed, is Tai Sholari. Incidentally, before I left this country, my parents, my aunt in particular, used to threaten to take us to Mayflower. You will go to Mayflower if you don't behave. I was so glad when I got on that plane and Anyway, those who went to Mayflower will testify to the excellent education that was at Mayflower. Why do I bring up Tai Sholari? Femi Oshofison wrote a book, which is a play, which was an adaptation by an adaptation of the Russian-Ukrainian playwright called Goglo. I think I pronounced Nikolai Goglo, which was called The Inspector. Now, Femi Oshofison's adaptation is called Who's Afraid of Tai Sholari? And I thought that would be a great introduction to what we are talking about today. Because as an activist and an educator, one who impacted young minds and gave them the freedom of thought and to think and to challenge, what would he make of today's digital censorship? I mean, really. Okay, so you might have heard by now, the AG has said he's no longer going to prosecute anyone. But that one has story, right? You know my pidgin is bad, but that's all story, right? Because we've still got answers. And we want those answers, those questions rather, we want them answered. Now, my guests today, I have 3 guests and who are all going to share their opinion and also their experience, how social media, and in particular the Bird app, let's call it the Bird app before they come and raid the studio and Femi and Dipo cannot save me, We'll call it the Bird app, how the Bird app has impacted their lives and changed their lives. And then I'm going to, of course, open the lines for you, my lovely listeners, to tell me that story where that Bird app has changed your life. And of course, because we're all Nigerians together, and we stick together because we're about collective. We know we have one enemy, they shall remain nameless. One is God's, one's name starts with an M, the other one is LM, and Bugwe, and this one, you never heard it here. A dear friend of mine who is, activism comes in so many other ways. A dear friend of mine who's a quiet activist, if you like, said to me, look, to support the Nigerian youth, she gave me, and she makes fabrics, she makes batik in Ife, and she gave me a batik to give away to the best, most moving story that we hear today, which Dip was going to help me choose. And so let me introduce my guest, because I've spoken far too much, which I don't speak this long, as you know. Right, I've got with me today the man himself, Editi Effiong. Are you there, my love? Editi. Do say hello before they think you're fake. It's all this fake news. Say hello. Are you on mute? He's joining from...
Hi. Hello.
How are you? Editi's a filmmaker and he's also a tech entrepreneur. Okay, right. He's not, before you people think you can go and read him, he's not joining from this land. He's joining from when you go out of Nigeria and you turn left, take a right, down the roundabout in a tunnel, and you end up in that country that begins with GG. Anyway, now I've also got with me Chidi Okereke. Chidi, how are you doing?
Hi.
Hello, my love. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Chidi is a tech marketer. I'll let him tell us a lot more, but he's also a writer. Now, in the studio, I have with me Dami.
Yes.
Damilola, yes. Damilola has I think Damilola's story will connect with, because Damilola is probably a few years younger than Editi and Chidi. So Damilola's story will connect with another, perhaps, the sort of the ones that are in between the millennials and the Gen Zs, you know. So why are the lines going? I haven't opened the lines yet. Calm down, my people. Right, Editi, let me come to you first. So tell me, digital censorship is what I'm calling it. When you heard about the ban on that bird app, what were the first thoughts that came to your mind?
Not surprising. That's the first thing I thought.
Well, not surprising, right? Is it something that you had been
Yeah.
expecting?
I mean, we do data analysis for a living sometimes in one of my jobs, and you can draw a straight line from when a government doesn't have anything to show for its existence,
Mm-hmm.
it tends to turn around and fight the citizens. I was talking to an older gentleman in Accra yesterday, and he says like it. He says the same thing. If you're the only voice in the room, as the government wants itself to be, then you can't be told if you've done the right or wrong thing.
Mm.
And if you're lucky to be doing the wrong thing, you keep doing the wrong thing. And it tends to happen when people are, there's a siege mentality when you've not done what you know. It means that you're not doing well. You just don't want people to talk about it. That's when you start censoring.
Indeed, indeed.
And
Chidi,
and, and so and so it wasn't surprising.
it wasn't surprising. Chidi, what were your thoughts?
To be honest, yeah, I mean, editing does I think he's more a realist than I am, because I have this I have this I have this belief that there are certain things that just cannot happen. Um,
Mm.
not because of this meeting, maybe before there are certain things you just feel like, nah, not in this generation, not in 2021,
Not in
right? So maybe it's
2021, yes.
naivety, maybe it's ignorance, maybe it's just my sheer optimism, which is, worrisome. But I did not see this. This is the last, like, I did not see it coming at all. I could not have in 1,000 years believed that the government of Nigeria would shut down a platform as important as Twitter, a platform that helps disseminate information, a platform that, basically connects people and, helps many businesses run. It's incredible, and I am still in shock. Like, I am still. It feels like when they go low and you think this is the bottom, they find a way to
To
dig
go
further
lower.
and go lower.
Yes, I hear you, Chidi. Now, Dami, you have a very interesting relationship and a story to tell about the Bird app, about Twitter. Tell me, how has it changed your life?
Sure.
Well, let me start by saying that it's like somebody somewhere is afraid of the bird app.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is afraid of the bird app because I wouldn't have been surprised if this was like 10 years ago, but this is a post COVID-19 world,
Mm.
and work is now global and digital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I got my current job on Twitter. Just because a friend mentioned me under the adverts, and then I picked it up from there. And I can tell you that all through the tests, the interview, I never saw the advert somewhere else. I never
Mm.
heard of the job somewhere else. So I got the job basically from Twitter. Now, Twitter has helped so many people talk of entrepreneurs, talk of comedians, entertainers, I mean, some of the thriving NGOs in Nigeria today were spotted on Twitter by funders.
Indeed.
And even some of the activists in Nigeria today were spotted on Twitter too, and they're speaking truth to power today, and they're relevant globally. So, what government then wakes up to ban, such a platform? I mentioned earlier that this is a post-COVID-19 era, where work is just work is
Remote.
digital.
Yes, it's
Work is
digital.
remote,
Yeah.
global.
Yeah.
Someone can just wake up in the US and feels like I want to employ some. He or she might not wouldn't just look within the borders of the country.
Yeah.
The best brain from anywhere, from wherever. That is what you want to get. And then Twitter is like one of the most significant social media windows, for Nigerians. You know, I was surprised recently when after the ban, and then a fraction of Nigerian Twitter users started using Netherlands IP, and then Nigerians dominated conversations even in the Netherlands, even in the US with over 60 million Twitter users. I mean, Nigeria has just over 3 million Twitter users, but they are very, very active on Twitter. So, what government now wakes up to ban such a platform because it's insulted the president, because it's deleted the president's tweet?
That's a good point.
So
Thank
it's
you.
I think that decision was ill-advised. It's a big mistake, and it's just absolutely anti-people.
Thank you. Now, Chidi, let me come to you. You're a digital marketer, and I think I'm probably even understating what you do, right? Tell me, how has this affected your earnings, your profession, your relation with your delivery, if you like, to your customers?
Okay, so yeah, you're correct. I work in digital marketing and communications, and we work with brands across sectors and help them connect to their audiences. And a huge chunk of many of the audiences of the brands we work with are on Twitter, and some of the strategy we create, some of the plans we have, some of the things we do in order to further deepen conversations around our clients are supposed to be done on Twitter. So on the technology part, some apps and APIs and all that, they are all run on, they have APIs that are run on Twitter basically. So which means after the ban, a lot of things just stopped working. Every day ban, we've lost money. At the end of the month, we're going to pay salaries regardless, right? So basically, the government is costing me money by just this decision, and I feel like I'm even a small fry. There are so many other people who are losing way more money because of this. As soon as the ban happened, even though it was supposed to be a weekend, we all went back to the office. We had to go re-strategize because some of the decks that we have, some of the things we've planned are all heavy on the things you can do on Twitter. Twitter as a platform, I think Dami mentioned the numbers. Those numbers might seem small, but the sheer reach of that platform, I mean, see what we did with NSAS.
Yeah.
The sheer reach of that platform is such that if you're looking at just the numbers, then you're looking at it wrongly. So a whole lot of things that we do are heavily dependent on Twitter. And this man just woke up because his tweet was deleted and he threw a tantrum that affected the entire country. And that's embarrassing, man. That's shameful.
Thank you. Editi, you're a filmmaker. I know, I mean, any kind of platform where you can advertise your film to the world and enter it for competition and have it recommended is just, you can't underestimate the value. Now, as a filmmaker, as a techpreneur, when you heard that, okay, in fact, let me take it back a little bit. You are also, like me, one of the people who voted for our current president in 2015, right? The same president who said to us, it's okay, don't cover your face, I'm one. And I'm not ashamed to say it. And we can discuss it about democracy. We had two choices. Back then, we had to make one. It is what it is. Democracy doesn't guarantee you the best leader. It just guarantees you a choice. That's the maturity that our people need to get to. So I'm never afraid to say so. But anyway, this same man who promised jobs to young people, who actually got to being our president as a result of the activism of many millions of young people in his favor. Tell me, what are you feeling now?
I think I'm going to go back to a storytelling place. So Chidi, I love that I'm on this conversation with him because we used to work together.
Okay.
We still work together, but I hired Chidi out of NYC from Twitter.
Wow.
You know, Twitter is how, yeah, Twitter is how we met. Uh, and grew, worked on a business, grew. He has built a business and done incredibly well. And just looking at that, how these platforms have been able to help a generation of Nigerians not just grow but thrive. It's shameful. When the ban was announced, we had to get together, call a meeting with the team, and send advisories to brands, local brands, big brands, international brands about what to do
Wow.
and not using Twitter because they'll be victimized. And I'm talking about top banks in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
top brands in Nigeria, international. Yeah, and so you see how difficult and bad this is for business. On Friday, we're sitting in a meeting and having a conversation with a global player, having conversations about the work that we're going to be doing, and then this is announced, and that deal is sort of in shambles now.
Wow.
The next morning,
Can you give us an
yeah, the
idea of how
next
many
morning, a
zeros?
big,
How many zeros were at the end of that
no,
bill?
I can't.
No, no, just the zeros. We
I
don't want the
can't,
number
but
in
like it.
front. Is it enough for my bride
But so
price?
you have women like wine should never be valued.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead. He's such a charmer. That's why he has so many followers.
So you have that, and you have the next morning, some of the venture funds that we work with, send a message in, and they will be requiring a new risk assessment for
Wow.
the business that they invested in Nigeria.
Wow.
I mean, they have to do risk
That's
assessment to
like a
do deals. So then
360-degree turn.
yes, absolutely. Every single venture fund who've invested in Nigeria are looking at Nigeria like, okay, with renewed looking at it like look at the risk and
Mm.
then reevaluating the risk of investing in Nigeria. I'm currently in Ghana, and guess what? Every single investment type, when we're having meetings,
Mm-hmm.
all they're talking about is Nigeria risk, the risk
Wow.
of operating in Nigeria. Twitter recently opened an office in Nigeria, in Accra. Thank God. I mean, it would have been in SSS now. Who knows? you know. But there's a another global giant is coming to Africa, and they're setting up in Accra. And we're having these conversations, and Nigeria is shooting itself in the foot. And here's the explanation of it. You you've done what do you call them, forensic controls, like very harsh foreign currency controls.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you do that, it makes it difficult for anyone who brings, say, a USD investment into Nigeria. When you make it difficult for me to put money, to take money out of the economy, to take money out of Nigeria, my profits, and leave the country, I won't even bring the money in. But some people are still brave and bringing the investments in.
Yes.
But now that you do, it show that like one day you could just liquidate my dollar in my account. Nobody's coming, and so when you see the pressure on the naira, it's not just that oil prices have gone. It's that the Nigerian government, the policy of the government, where they could just arbitrarily ban everything, is stopping people bringing dollars in, and so
At
the small
that
dollars that were
point,
inside,
let me interrupt you.
everybody's
We need to go on a
yeah,
quick
everybody's
break.
rushing.
We need to go on a quick break and you continue that story.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
See, Nine Mobile, they give me call bonus why I not fit finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
I'll follow my guy.
I go block you now. I go block you now. You go see him.
Terms and conditions day. 9 mobile.
Your Friday afternoons just got better on Downfall Conversations with Ireti Bakare-Yusuf.
People need to be very careful. There's a friend of mine that has been trafficked for how many years now? I'm just talking about an educated person from an office. She just met a child, they went for a vacation, and like that, that's how she was trafficked.
People are afraid to seek or ask the right question because they're afraid of surgery. I call it 2 F's that affects women with fibroids: fear and fund.
When you have a child less than 12 years, as a housewife, it's child trafficking already.
Of course.
Child trafficking. So you shouldn't have a housewife that is less than 12 years.
Tune in to Downfall Conversations with Ireti Bakare-Yusuf every Friday from 1 to 2:30 p.m. right here on your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what thing now? That is money you just call me.
See, Nine Mobile, they give me call bonus why I not fit finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
I'll follow my guy.
Benjo, see, I go block you now. I go block you now. You go see him.
Terms and conditions day. 9 mobile.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
If only my voice was as sweet as the lady that says, "Welcome back to Downfall Conversations." But no, I'll be practicing it gradually, slowly, small. Okay, Editi, you were telling us a story earlier. I just want you to finish it. Sorry, we have to go on break. This one that we can't social media anymore. We have to social advert.
You have to pay bills, so I understand.
And I've got
I just
questions
think
about those
that,
zeros
the
after the
government-
show, by the way.
Yeah. I think that the government hasn't thought through this thing well, as it's. I mean, governments in Nigeria generally don't think before they act. They ban Okada without providing alternatives for people. They'll ban this, they ban that, and they always like to do it immediately. There's no phasing. Anyway, so the government hasn't looked at the economic impact of not just banning Twitter, but showing itself to be anti-business. And what that has done is that investors are looking at Nigeria. Nigeria is going to become a pariah state, which is funny because we have a huge economy, and everybody wants to come to Nigeria. But when it looks like it becomes difficult to do business in Nigeria, people go park in Accra, in Ghana, and hire. And I mean, take the popular social network that's set up in Ghana, for example. They're hiring these roles, targeting the Nigerian market.
Yes.
They're hiring for people who understand Nigeria, but they're citing that economic value in Accra. That should have been us. That should have been our tax money. But look, by behaving this way like touts, we're now scaring investors away because we're area boys, It's the reason why people go site their offices in VI and not in Isaleko, And Nigeria is now behaving like Isaleko. Anyway,
I'm
so
economy, don't try that
economic
one.
value
It's
lost.
what do you mean? It's like behaving like it's what are you talking?
Don't worry, I shot in Isaleko. I shot in Isaleko and fought an area boy in February. Anyway, so you look at that longer, like these guys are not going to move this office to Nigeria. It would never happen again. The big guys that are coming, this year are coming to Ghana still, at targeting the Nigerian economy, but they're doing it from Ghana. We're now losing all that tax money that we would have had. And so there's that. And then the government is also not helping itself. This government has failed economically. It's not been able to grow beyond 2%. It's the worst in Nigeria's history, really, in terms of growth. And in 6 years, we've not done more than 2%. We've not gone above 2%. We've not reached 2% growth. And when you're a government and you have a job deficit, you're bleeding jobs, been bleeding jobs since 2015. We've not grown since 2015. And young people have, using the internet, created jobs for themselves. And you now use your own hand and take those jobs away from them. And then, of course, you now say the young people should, so how do they replace these jobs?
What's the word? Self-destructive almost, right?
Yeah.
That brings me on to my next.
That is,
go on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, so I guess a final take of this and how the government does not think about what it does is that, the government is not prepared to, provide the alternative jobs for the ones it's taking away. And when young people enter the streets, they say they want to overthrow the government. No, they're just angry and want their jobs back. But then there's the thing where the government also doesn't think, and they've inadvertently, by banning Twitter, censored itself. The government has censored itself. Because ordinary Nigerians are still on Twitter with VPNs talking, but the government and its supporters cannot stay on Twitter. Because as a supporter of this current government, banning Twitter is the right thing to do. So you cannot use VPN or be caught using VPN. You're going to go and potentially go join a small app in India, maybe called Kukuruku, and try to... But there are no Nigerians on that app. So Nigerian government has
I checked their followers. They have zero followers.
They can't even defend themselves.
I checked their followers. They had 0 followers. How many? I don't know. A couple of days later, still 0 followers. I don't know what to do with these people.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are really. They just happen to be related somehow. So, Dami, tell me. Editi made a very good point, which brings me to my next question. Now, what do we call it? The government have said, or NBC has said, any online services must now get a license. Now, you work for an online service. What's that going to mean for your organization where you work?
Well, licensing itself, I don't consider it a problem.
Okay.
But then it depends on the motive behind the licensing. Now, recently I was reading an article on Al Jazeera, and then the writer was pointing to the fact that the suspension wasn't because Twitter removed the president's tweet. The suspension, it was just the climax of the government's perception of what's effrontery and all that. So it was just the climax at the time. So they had always wanted to regulate. That was what they called it at the time, since they learned that Twitter was used by young people to organize the EndSARS protest. So now that questions the licensing narrative. Now governments might wake up and say, oh well, we have some content that can actually damage our people. You wouldn't want Boko Haram now to say they want to recruit fighters and then come on Twitter, post it on Twitter and ask people to apply. You wouldn't want to see that on Twitter. So
correct.
A sensible government can then say, oh, there are destructive contents, maybe revenge pornography, talk about child bullying, talk about rape and all that. We don't want such contents on our Twitter. Maybe there are certain ways Nigerians post these things that might not be explicit to the app owners now. So we can then invite them and say, oh well, we want you to employ some Nigerians to help you fish out those destructive posts, and then that can be the requirement for the licensing. Indeed. But now looking at what they are doing, especially in the light of their newfound romance with China, I think the government basically wants to muzzle the media, just the way China has successfully done. China is able to control the narrative. For instance, I mean, this morning as I was sitting there, I was trying to check Tiananmen Square massacre on Baidu. Baidu is China's replacement for Google.
Correct.
So I was just trying to check, Tiananmen Square massacre on Baidu. I saw, narratives, one-sided narratives coming from Chinese blogs and all that. Correct. Now, they can control those stories. Now, I checked on Google. I saw narratives from CNN, from BBC and all that. So China has been able to control, this. So Nigeria is now talking about a firewall. They basically want to, sorry, muzzle the press. They want to muzzle the media space. Now, my organization, as a matter of fact, is an online platform, and of course, some of the things we do, we don't do them online. We go, on the field. We meet people. We gather information. At the end of the day, Twitter, for instance, has really helped us. We've been able to meet sources.
Yes.
It has kind of helped us bridge the gap between the journalist and the source. You can easily go into someone's DM and ask questions, and then you can even easily get in touch with the government's players too. But with the ban, we can no longer do that. So that really tells you the motive behind the licensing. They want to take over the press. They want to take over, they want to take over the media. And, it bothers me. I think Editi said something similar. He said the government doesn't seem to be in touch with reality. Look at the economic implications of this. We can take a cue from the president. I mean, at the point this government closed its physical borders, and we saw the implications.
Yes.
It literally took food away from the common man's table.
Correct.
Price of rice from maybe 8,000 to 30,000. They want to do the same thing. They are closing digital borders. That is what it means to now build a firewall. That is what they are saying when they say they want to license. They can control the flow of, information from without. They can control the flow of information from within. I mean, they stand in between. So they are going to muzzle the press. And as I said earlier, it is anti-people. It is going to be counterproductive. It is going to be a way of silencing people's voice.
Thank you, Dami. Thank you. Now, Chidi, let me come to you because I know my listeners are eager to come on and open the phone lines. Right. Let's talk about global best practice very quickly. The UK woke up, so here's the thing. We're 21 years into the 21st century, right? And it's only in the last 3 to 5 years that governments around the world have been waking up, apart from China, been waking up to the reality. And when I say reality, the ching ching chong chong, the one that matters, the money part of social media. So the UK insisted that they register in England or, in the UK, they register, they became taxpayers. Of course they pay. I mean, Twitter, makes most of its money in America, and it's an American company. So, of course, they pay tax in America. And other companies, France has also done the same thing. Global best practice. Number one, why is it we can't have our own firewall? We're saying, okay, all right, you want to come in, you got to go knock on the gate, because that's all a firewall is, right? Knock on the gate, knock 3 times, then we'll let you in. Why can't we do that? And number two, why did we not register these people since 2015? Come on, this government knew how to use social media. They knew how to use Twitter to win an election. Some call it propaganda. They will tell you they were selling the truth. Whatever it is, they knew how to use it to win an election. So why didn't they, after they got into office, why didn't they just register and say, you know what, we need money, we found an empty coffers. Why didn't they just register them and start making the tax revenue? Why now?
So, as a matter of fact, Twitter and all those platforms don't have to be domiciled in Nigeria for them to make money from social media and all that. We when we do ads, our ads are taxed. Yeah, there's a tax for every time we run ads on the digital space, right? And this goes to the government. When we use say influencers on these platforms, right? These influencers either will do withholding tax or they pay tax directly. Right, so these platforms, the government is already generating funds from these platforms. Now, if you want to say go the other route and build the firewall, or have conversations with them when they're coming into your country, you need to come from a position of strength. Right? So you need to come from a position where you can actually come to the table and let's talk about this. Like what can we do together? How can I help you help me? How can you help me help you? Right? He who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Indeed.
These governments even understand what it is doing in the first place. Like,
The
like
youth
you want
have
to build.
spoken.
Do you know how much it costs? How much does it cost to build that firewall? Like that's major investment. Our roads are still bad. I'm sure you enter the pothole today. If you rains, everything just becomes messed up, like very, very messed up. Right? So you've not even built basic infrastructure when you're talking about regulating the internet. I think you need to develop your country to a point where it even makes business sense for you to build the firewall. When people are coming into your country, when they want to come, invest in your country and all that, they know they're going to get a return on investment before you ask them to, bring another level of taxation and stuff,
Okay.
right? So there's a whole lot of things the government needs to do first before talking about,
Firewall.
insisting that these OTTs and these social media platforms sit at the table with them first. We and UK, we are not mates. Let's be real. We are not mates. Infrastructure wise, development wise, everything. They're not our mates. Let's
Let's
not
know
do
who
that.
our mates are. Thank you, Chidi. Thank you so much. Editi, Editi, can you come and give me 2 minutes comment on that? I know I've got to open the lines. Hold on. Let me just read out the numbers again. 0700 993 993 993. The female only line, even though I've got Dippo with me, don't you dare call him a female, is 014 657 190. And you can WhatsApp. Yes, you can WhatsApp. It's not the bird apple. We are not bird, this. We're still allowed to use WhatsApp. It's 0809 597 5805. In about 5 minutes, you can start calling. In fact, it's even bright. Oh, yeah, Editi, go 2 minutes. What do you have to add to that? We know we're not their mates. Like, we're not mates with UK. So we're their juniors or even junior pata pata. What have you got to add? Why shouldn't we have our own firewall? Why shouldn't they pay taxes in Nigeria? We need more money.
I think that it's important to, as a business owner, to see how the government does not see me as a person who's helping it do its job, who's providing employment for young people, who's taking people off the streets. It sees me as a target, someone who should be robbed and taken money from. That's how the government sees businesses. The government sees businesses in a very destructive manner, which explains why the government would say go and shut down, the Okada services and try to shut down Uber, and these are exactly the people that need jobs, and the government does not think. Now, if you wanted to tax Twitter, you could do it. The CBN could do it very easily. And I mean, they already tax Twitter, but if you want to increase taxes on Twitter, you could do it. But the government obviously cannot be trusted. It's a temper tantrum. I mean, this entire thing is not because they're just throwing a tantrum. They're throwing the toys out of the pram. And look, it's not when you go to the streets and the boy who can't play, but he had a new ball, has a nice shiny ball, but he can't play, and they scored it. He carries his ball and goes home. This is literally the government carrying his ball and going home. But I have to remind very specifically the president and the vice president. I was in a room with them in 2015, and I asked this question about freedom of speech, and VP Osibanjo said back then as a candidate, I would never stand for illegality. And it's a thing that I always hold against him. I hold against him very specifically. You cannot have come to power on free press, on freedom expression, and turn around and ban it. And people tell me, oh, he's not aware. Oh, it's a lie. He's aware. Oh, he's not. He can't do more than he's been assigned to do. He's a lie. If you cannot do it, resign. Oh. And then, so having said that,
this is done for conversations.
I said
we're conversing. Jaga, jaga, jago, jago, jago. Keep going. Well, I can only give you 1 minute. The lines are going crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that it's important that, the people who came to power on the back of Nigerians on social media who tweeted thanks to Nigerians on social media, I'm talking about the president now, his official Twitter handle, if they enjoyed that support from Nigerians on social media, and people voted for them and they get to the top and take away the ladder, boss, you'll be back home. In 2 years, the government will be over and you'll be back home. We'll be here, won't I?
That's
all I'd
right.
say.
That's right. Thank you. Right. So we're going to open the phone lines. I can see it going crazy. Remember, you are calling to give us that story, that special Twitter story in your life, how Twitter changed your life. This is not about government bashing. I want to hear, you know how we do on this show. This is done for conversation. After we do the discussion, then we veer to the point where it's about social engagement, social empowerment, positivity, how we as a people, we as Nigerians own this country. Therefore, let's open the phone lines. Hello. Hello. Uh-oh. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead. What's your special story? What's your name, please?
It's Leke from Shagam.
Leke from Aja.
Yeah.
Okay, Leke, tell me that. Okay.
Leke from Shagam.
Oh, from Ishagam. Ooh, so
Yeah.
right. Tell us. What's that special Twitter story in your life?
Yes. I'm a musician and also I'm physically challenged. So I use this stuff to market my song. I want to put my song out there. But now that they say they want to ban me, either they want to affect the only way I have to put out my work. All that physically challenged. Government is not doing anything for me and also.
Leke, right. Okay. Can you send a gosh, how does he get a message to us now? Depo, how does he get to our WhatsApp?
Yeah,
Send a message to
someone
the WhatsApp.
downstairs can just help us take his number. You know, Esther,
Editi's laughing. It's like we gotta get creative.
We're prepared. Esther, please take his number downstairs. Take Leke's number downstairs. Thank you very much.
Look, Editi, it's not funny. We're not gonna go back to message in a bottle. I refuse. And Kukuruku ain't gonna do it because we're cockroach at dawn. All right. Okay, go to the next phone lines. Hello. What's your name? Hello. 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 You're through to Down for Conversations.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's your name and where you calling from, please?
Oh, my name is Dami. I'm calling from Surulere.
Hello, Dami. Go ahead with your special Twitter story.
Yeah. As at 20.
Ha. Is it not? They have not built that firewall. Has that firewall been built? Editi, Chidi, I'm asking you people questions. This firewall.
I don't think we can afford to build it. Government is broke, so they cannot even afford to build a firewall.
Because
so
my lines are breaking. Oh, yeah. Who's next? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is John from Unilag.
Okay, John, tell us about that special Twitter story in your life.
That has been awesome. Let the government don't find our trouble. We don't want trouble. Please tell the government that Twitter is paying direct tax. Data is not cheap in Nigeria. Nobody is joking in this country. Data is not cheap. Data is for the rich. So we're paying taxes every day. Twitter is paying tax to the government.
Okay.
We're paying tax. Data is not cheap. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from, please?
John from Yaba.
Okay, John, go ahead. What's that special Twitter story in your life?
I just want to ask a question because as I was listening to the conversation, the question keeps coming to my mind. How do we have brilliant minds like the people you brought in the studio today, and we end up being governed with the kind of people we have now? We just have to find a way. We must find a way of bringing our brilliant minds back into the mainstream of governance in this country. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you ask a very important question, which many people ask over and over and over again. Who's next on the line, please?
Yeah, I was. This is Dami. Did you get my story?
No, we didn't. I think you became disconnected. Go ahead. Or your line was disconnected. I beg your pardon.
Oh, okay. I said as at 2018, 19, I had no job. The companies I worked for, they weren't paying. So I discovered Twitter like 2019. I was I'm a digital marketer. I studied that, so I was using it for on Twitter. My friends that were upcoming artists, they'll be like, okay, you take this 2,000, take this 3,000, go help us promote my music. That's how I grew big on Twitter. Started doing trend, started doing campaigns for brands. It was, it has really, really blessed me.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Apollo, my guy. How every now? See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 Mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
Apollo, my guy.
I go block you now. You go see am.
Terms and conditions day. 9 Mobile.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info. Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Sorry about that. We're back. We're enjoying the conversations and the stories so much. Right. Who is next on the line, please? Hello? Oh, dear. Hello? Okay. Keep your calls coming in. They're not going to separate us. I refuse to let them. Okay? Let me just give you the numbers again. The numbers are 0700 993 993 993. Female only 014 657 190. And WhatsApp, you can send us a WhatsApp as well on 0809 597 5805. Who do we have on the line?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Chief Mrs. Ireti Bakare. This is Kasme. I'm calling you from VI.
Hello, Chief Mister. Right. What's your special Twitter story? Tell us.
Right. I was in the broadcasting field. I was even an intern with Nigerian Support Hackers some time ago. But after my internship, I couldn't get in. So 2018, 2019, I started going to Twitter. I loved Twitter. Twitter was like a snooker to me. Like, if I'm depressed, I go to Twitter. I go to read trends, read comments, laugh. I mean, Twitter, I stopped even going to Facebook, I'm sorry. But then, all of a sudden, I started to find my ways around Twitter, and then I started building up my followership. And then, somehow, I met this controversial journalist, Kenny Omodolundoyo, who gave some tips on how to become an influencer. And I started getting some work, on Twitter. Even recently, I was trying to close a deal with someone on Twitter. All of a sudden, I couldn't continue that communication because Twitter was pulled down. It really affected me. And
oh, I'm so sorry. Hello, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, I'm still there. It's quite demoralizing and made me a little bit depressed. But I just didn't want to feel depressed so much because I know that somehow we'll bounce back. I trust Nigerians. We'll always move. We move.
We move. Thank you so much. That's the spirit. We move. Who else have we got on the line? Hello? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Ah, so sorry. Hello? Can you turn your radio down? Are you there? Hello? Okay. Let me just tell you, they are not going to separate us. Do we have any WhatsApp messages? They're not going to separate us. I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to let them, okay? Because you guys are my lovely listeners, and I don't negotiate. Do we have any WhatsApp messages yet? We have a line coming in. Right, we're about to go on an ad break. How long have we got, Tipo? 11 seconds. Okay, sorry. Call back. They won't let us earn money on the other side, so we have to earn money this way. All right.
Conversations will be right back.
It's 2 p.m. Jumia's 9th anniversary flash sale is live at 70% off. Get ready for treasure hunt at 6
The home of entertaining conversations.
I personally think Liverpool of last season that lost the title were better. That's my personal opinion.
Somebody who has the virus refused to isolate. That's even attempted murder, in my opinion, because you know how dangerous this virus is and you refuse to do the right thing. It should be a crime.
99.3.
A young man like me looking for what I'll fed myself, and police are collecting my money. It's like, okay, later we'll say Yahoo Yahoo. I'm not doing Yahoo Yahoo. I have a laundry shop.
Your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The National Association of Nigerian Students pulls out of planned June 12 nationwide protests. Delta Commissioner of Police Ari Mohammed Ali warns against protests, says police command will not allow it. President Buhari appoints Balarabe Shehu Ilela as Director General of National Broadcasting Commission, while federal government declares Monday public holiday to celebrate Democracy Day. One student shot dead as gunmen abduct students and lecturers from Kaduna Polytechnic. President Buhari tells security operatives again to shoot anyone with AK-47s and other assault weapons. President Buhari vows his administration will act decisively against any and all persons fomenting or carrying out attacks on the Nigerian police and other security personnel. Federal government to recruit 10,000 policemen as Lagos hands over security equipment to police. Nigerians criticize President Buhari after equating Igbos with IPOB. And on the foreign scene, Ghana to plant 5 million trees today. Those were the headlines. You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info. It is done for Conversations with Ireti Bakare-Yusuf. I'm Yvonne Okaifo.
You don't have to leave home without us again. Listen on the air and online. Just search Nigeria Info FM on the Apple app or Google Play Store and never miss a thing. Your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back to Downfall Conversations, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Thank you so much for that news, Yvonne. Right, so again, the numbers 0700 993 993 993. Remember, I've got I have 5 yards of batik, which is adire, to give away to the best Twitter story that we get from my listeners. Okay, lines are going. Hello? Hello? Are you there? I refuse. I'm not going to let them.
Yes?
I'm not going to let them. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Ah,
I'm here.
welcome to civilization. Yes.
Now, there are 2 things though.
What's your name, first of all?
I'm Kunle.
Okay, Kunle, go ahead.
Yes. A light bulb came to my head when I heard the first caller.
I hope it's not controlled by NEPA.
Yes, and he was like, yes, I have a story. It concerns you. Actually, my wife, she's a musician.
Okay.
and she sang for you, I think, on Twitter.
Oh, yes. Oh, my word. Yes.
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 So, you know, this thing goes round like that. Like, we can never remember those stories.
Oh, wow. Remind me of her name again. Oh, my God. Her voice was so powerful.
Olori Africa.
Olori Africa, yes. It was such a beautiful surprise. You're her husband. Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
It just came to my head. Like, Twitter helps a lot of people and connects
Yes,
a lot
it
of people in
does.
different ways.
Yes, it does.
You know?
And brings so much joy. Thank you so much.
Yes. Then
And
number two.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm pitching the government when they finally release Twitter. Because I know some people will just vent full wrath of everybody. They'll just go to Twitter. People that never knew Twitter before, we know, this is an app that you can use to abuse these people.
Yeah.
They'll just go there and even get worse than before. So they better shut down all their handles and probably sell that verified tick to somebody else. Because I know I may even join.
Thank
but
you,
a lot
Kule.
of old people will just believe it's a place to go and abuse the government.
Well, let's hope we don't use it to abuse. Let's hope we use it to engage, because that's really what we must be using it for. But thank you. Right. Okay. We have another call. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oluwatosin Lekki.
Tosin, go ahead. What's your special Twitter story?
Okay, first, I'm going to say that you guys are doing a wonderful job.
We try
That's
in the
number
absence
one.
of the app. Yes.
And then one more thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to say much. I'm going to talk to the bros that is talking, that you were talking to, who says his office is in Ghana or something.
Yes, his office is not in Ghana. He's currently in Ghana, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, Twitter has helped a lot of people, paying a lot of people in the country. So if the government says they would want to shut it down, I know that more advertisement is going to come in. Guys are using VPN already. Even Lai Mohammed, how did he manage to tweet 2 days ago? So the only thing I'm going to say, whether in the positive side or on the negative side, President Muhammadu Buhari does not know what he's doing. Quote my word, for real, he does not know what he's doing. The whole Nigeria knows about this. So when he leaves in that 2 years, I think the best will come out. He does not have sense as a president.
Hello, next caller, please. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. What's your name,
Good
please?
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ilupeju.
Ilupeju. Now, you can't be
Yes, my name-
abusive. So I'm just saying in advance, let me just say, anyone that calls into this show can't be abusive to the government, to anyone in government. You can state your opinion, but you can't be abusive. But right now, the point of all these calls is to tell us that special Twitter story in your life. Go ahead.
Okay. Man, with due respect for this Nigeria, why someone that's not use the West to make money, now this current that we are now, we are finding the way to succeed. Now someone from nowhere, try to bring down youth to the foot. That is not well done in any organization, because it's a top citizen, pronounce anyhow he like. That is not correct. Okay, my dad, I know that old people know, their thinking is like child. They are born today. That's what our president is today.
Okay.
Now I'm young, planning my future to be great through Twitter. Now someone came out to pronounce because their children are rich already. It's not correct. That's not done.
Thank you.
And all the we
Thank
know that it is implication
Thank
for
you.
us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me just read out the messages we have on Twitter. I have here, it says, what do you expect from a government that has done nothing for Nigerians that they lied so much to? Now they don't want the people to criticize them. How can you beat me and ask me not to cry? What a profound and powerful question. Right. I have another one. It says here, it's sad that the mindset of our outdated leaders. Yep, I have another one here. Good afternoon, Ireti, Bakare-Yusuf, our downfall driver. Pim, 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 pim. Right, so the ban on Twitter in Nigeria has really affected me socially. I can't believe I'm no longer able to check trending topics, and reading the news firsthand. Twitter has been my best social media platform since I joined. The FG has done more harm than good. And they've done more harm than good on this draconian measure. Collins O from Lagos. Thank you, Collins O. Let me just try and squeeze in another message. Right, governments make decisions that are uncalled for. Decisions they benefit from without the thought of how the masses will cope. That's a powerful one. That's pretty true. Can I squeeze one in? Right. Nope. Go ahead. Let's go to the lines. There's loads of them. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ireti.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. My name is Okereke. I'm calling from Zagara Express Road.
Hello, Okereke. What's that special Twitter story in your life?
Well, I actually don't have a special Twitter story, but I just want to make a point across on here to the young generation. They really need to learn to share their grievances without being insulted, without it degenerating into a throw of negative words, you know? And really that's the best way to engage and to create a change, because we all are clamoring for a change and we know that a change is needed.
Yeah.
However, a change is the type of change we want. It's not going to happen when we're insulting each other, we're not listening to each other, and nobody's going to listen to what you have to say when you're throwing insults. It's very important that the youth need to understand this point, and they need to learn to engage.
Thank you.
And put across their grievances in a manner that is civilized. We're not savages, and savages don't achieve much.
Yes.
You know?
Thank you.
So that's just really what I want to say.
Thank you so
guys-
much. Hello. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. Just Lokwe calling from Ikeja.
Hello, Okwe. Tell me, what's that special Twitter story? You guys have got stories. Why am I not hearing them? Go ahead.
See, my own Twitter story. I don't have any Twitter story. But one thing I want to say is, for people, you can use Twitter without VPN right now.
Okay, we don't want that. Thank you. Hello. Hello, what's that special Twitter story?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Sorry, my name is Larry.
Okay, go ahead, Larry.
I am an occasional user of Twitter. I don't use it for my business. I just use it for pleasure. People have been calling to tell us what the advantage and the good effect of Twitter on their business, and nobody has called to tell you the other side of it.
Go ahead.
Like the other woman said, you don't promote what you condemn in others by insulting people. For instance, I've taken my time. Buhari, I'm not a fan of Buhari, but I've taken my time to study his tweet. I mean, his tweet that caused all this brouhaha. Everything was just quoted out of context. There is no country in the world where you have absolute freedom. Even in the U.S. Congress and they keep calling Facebook, Twitter, all of them to check. And even in their Senate, the debate on whether to tax this guy or not is in place. So we don't have absolute freedom anywhere. And we should mind the way we talk. What we condemn in others, we should not be promoting it.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's a good point. Hello? Hello? Hello.
Hello.
What's your name and where you calling from? Right, we're going to the quick fire round now. We've got what, 20 minutes or so. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Chibueze.
Good afternoon, Chibueze. What's that special Twitter story? Okay, 014657190. Hello.
Hi, Ireti. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Nike. I'm calling from Lekki.
Hello, Nike. Go ahead. What's that story you've got for us?
So Twitter helps me do my work. I'm a writer, and so for a lot of the people for whom I've tried to get for interviews, a lot of people have tried to provide certain context for me. I have found them Twitter by doing a simple search. So Twitter gives you access in a way that no other social media platform gives you. Like it gives you insane access. And so while I'm listening to the radio and I'm hearing all of these people who are complaining about, young people need to know how they talk, I find it very ridiculous.
Okay.
Because I think that we should not make it our job to control how people say what they say, or when they say it, or how they say it. All that should matter is what they are saying. Is what they're saying inciting? Then report it. Twitter has mechanisms for reporting it. Is what they're saying hate speech? Is it derogatory? Is it discriminatory? Report it. Twitter and other social media platforms have mechanisms for reporting these kinds of speech. But to say that because people are using it to insult leaders. Have you seen American Twitter? American Twitter was insulting Donald Trump every single day.
Yeah.
There was no name under the sun that they did not call Donald Trump. Did Donald Trump ban Twitter for everybody else? No. Even when Donald Trump was deleted off of Twitter, he did not ban it for everybody else because they have a country that respects freedom of association, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, as well as freedom to do business on these digital platforms.
Excellent, Nike.
There are so many policies that have been enacted by the UN. I was listening to Sandra yesterday, and she had a debate about this Twitter ban. And one of her guests was talking about something called the Editi. They already have enacted in Nigeria a way to tax digital platforms like Twitter and Facebook. So it's a ridiculous red herring for people to continue to say, it's how people are talking on Twitter. That's what needs to change.
Thank you.
Need to get over trying to control how people dress, how people look,
How
how
they
people
speak.
talk. Enough of that.
Thank you, Nike. Thank you. I think they heard you right. We're in the quick fire round. We don't have much time. Hello. Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
God bless the last caller. Yeah. God should bless her for me.
Nike, they're saying God bless you.
Yeah. See, I laugh when some people are forming woke, trying to form their old. What do you mean by saying people should learn how to talk, how to do this? Do they know how to talk themselves? We are talking about Twitter. Someone is calling in to form. He has lived in America. He's saying they don't have freedom. What does it mean? The kind of freedom they have there, do we have it in Nigeria? Is Twitter the main problem of Nigeria? And some people are saying is the way they talk. Can any one of them, the two of them that called in to claim that some people, the way they talk on Twitter, can they tell me what Twitter has cost? Is Twitter the cause of X-Men killing?
Right.
Is Twitter the problem of shortage of food, prices of everything? And you are saying, yeah. Let's be guided. Let's be guided.
Let's be guided indeed. Thank you. Yeah. But we're saying kukuruku. Hello. What's your name?
Ike calling from both.
Go ahead, Ike. Have you got a special Twitter story or just a comment?
Twitter is a way of expression. We are not in a military. We are in a civilian government. When America cannot ban this, why are we banning this thing? Why are we suffering ourselves? Why are we in a slave? We don't slave in a country of place we are lacking a lot of things. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very, very much. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I call you back. This is Leke from Taga.
Yes, yes, Leke. Yes, sorry about that. So you were saying you have a business,
Yes,
and you're in Redeem.
I'm a singer.
You're a singer.
So I use Twitter to promote my song, but now they are saying they want to ban me. If you go to my song, look to affect my business. But hello,
I can hear you.
okay,
I can
so
hear you, sir.
You go to affect my song, but I put something on my Instagram and Facebook. Like you are Okereke, and I need every listener to go and check it out. Like you are Okereke on Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you,
Listener, go and
Leke.
check.
Leke Oluwakorede on Instagram and Facebook. Can you please go and check that out? Because that's really one. There's so many ways to be an activist. One of which is when we come together and use our collective power to our benefit. Okay, rather than going with like a bull in a china shop, as my dear friend Libora said on TV the other day. Right. Hello. Right. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, what's your name and where you calling from? I'm going to give you 1 minute. We're in the quick fire round.
All right. My name is Ruben. I'm calling from Abeson State.
Okay, Ruben, what's the story or comment you've got? You've got 1 minute.
All right.
Starting now.
I don't really have a special story on Twitter,
Mhm.
but the reality is that we can't really phantom the effects of this ban has had on individuals and businesses. And others that are calling saying that people shouldn't say that. For a word or to be barbaric, for instance, it's not necessarily by the spoken word. Your action too can tell if you are a barbaric or you are a civilized person.
Indeed.
The banning of Twitter is uncalled for. Really, there are other ways the government should have gone about it, and then they pass the message across, like every other civilized country are doing. But all countries are regulating this social media in one way or the other, not by bounding it, because we can't really understand the effect this ban of Twitter has on some Nigerians now. I myself, for instance, I have friends all over the world, and I made this friends on Twitter. But based on this ban now, they're all gone. I can't read them anymore.
Yeah.
And that's very bad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. Okay, we'll take a call. I've got a WhatsApp message here, but we'll take a call first. Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Chidi from Surulere.
Chidi from Surulere. You have 1 minute starting now.
Okay, I don't have Twitter story. I just sorry, we have a young listener around. So what I just want to say is, for me, it's about the information that I get from Twitter. So because of the state of the country, before I go out in the morning, I check my Google Map, I check my Twitter, I check, to know where it's safe, where it's okay to pass. But now I don't even know what's going on. For instance, the Imi Omoren case was on Twitter. When you hear about the last bridge, it's from Twitter morning or something. So you get a lot of information from Twitter. So I think it's fine. It's okay to regulate, but total ban, I do not agree to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ajab.
Right, you've got 30 seconds. Dikwa, who is not, I'm not liking right now, says I've only got 4 minutes left.
That the government are choosing to be bullying citizens. The Twitter ban is because they know that they're being exposed on daily basis with the Twitter the kind of exposition. For you to tell all those people telling you that the Twitter do this, Twitter do that, they're not being sincere. They're not being sincere. I don't even want to talk of the economic side of it, that the youths are gainfully employed on their own. The government did not provide them with any employment.
Excellent point.
They've all resorted to using Twitter to do one thing or the other meaningful in their life to earn living.
Thank you.
And yes, the government will come up and tell you they are using it to do this, to do that. I don't just get it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Right. I'm going to read a quick message here. Then I'm going to read out the winner of the of the gift of the batik, or shall I say adire. By the way, the adire we have is from adireodua.org. It is made in Ile-Ife. It does not come through Twitter, just so they know, because and I don't think they've got a Twitter handle. You'll have to go onto their website in order to find them. It's called Adire Odua. Odua is spelled OODUA. Now, where am I? So I have a message here from Adeshino Ayontoyinbo from Matogun. He says Twitter has no disadvantage. Getting influenced by malinformation, misinformation are due to depression and shallow reasoning, which the government itself has caused on its citizens. Instead of banning those platforms, the government should work on getting its citizens sanity back through good governance. Dikpo, how long have I got? How many?
Just 1 minute.
Why are you doing this now?
I'm sorry.
Oh, crikey. What to do? Oh, yeah. Who's the last? But okay, let me just tell you who the winner is. The winner is, and I'm sure you all agree with me, Dami, who's in the studio, Damilola in the studio, and also Dikpo agrees that the winner is Leke Oluwakorede, who you've got to go and follow on Instagram, because when it becomes the next Wizzy or D Don Jizzy or Dizzy or whatever the Dizzy is, when he becomes it, don't go claiming that you knew him first. You heard him on Down for Conversations. Go and follow him. Right? Can I squeeze in one? The lines are going deep more. Okay, look. Right, I've got to go. That's the end of another fabulous show. Thank you for being my wonderful my wonderful, lovely listeners. Dikpo is laughing at me. Is that bird hap going to be back? What do you reckon, Dikpo?
I guess it will be back.
I think so. What do you think, Dami?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think the government.
Well, we're not going to do kukuruku. Who's going to do kukuruku? Are you going to do kukuruku? We've got 30 seconds. Are you going to do kukuruku?
I'm not sure. I want to do it.
I am not kukuruku. Are you kukuruku?
No kukuruku.
No kukuruku. We only want the bird. 3 little birds on your doorstep, singing sweet songs of melody. Bye, people. Thank you.
.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.